Hi everyone. In this video, we'll be looking into a game between Grandmaster Ivan Chaparino and Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana from the round 3 of FIDE Chess Olympiad 2024 between Bulgaria and United States. Let's jump right into the game. Ivan Chaparino, starting with the white pieces, go for e4. Fabiano replies with c5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5, e6. Ivan goes for castling, knight on g to e7, rook to e1, knight to d4, knight takes on d4, c takes on d4, c3, a6, bishop to f1, knight to c6, b4, bishop to d6, bishop to b2, d takes on c3, d takes on c3, queen to c7, h3. Fabiano goes for castling, knight to d2, b6, a3, bishop to b7, c4, bishop to h2 with check, king to h1, bishop to e5, queen to b3, bishop takes on b2, queen takes on b2, a5, king to g1, 8 takes on b4, 8 takes on b4, knight to e5, queen to d4, h6, rook on e to c1, knight to c6, queen to c3, rook takes on a1, rook takes on a1, rook to c8, queen to b2, d6, knight to f3, knight to d8, knight to d2, e5, bishop to e2, rook to b8, rook to a3, knight to e6, bishop to f1, knight to d4, f3, bishop to c8, knight to b3, knight to c6, knight to a1, bishop to e6, knight to c2, h5, king to h1, h4, queen to c3, knight to e7, knight to e3, knight to g6, queen to a1, queen to d8, queen to e1, knight to f4, queen to f2, queen to g5, rook to a1, knight to h5, bishop to d3, g6, king to h2, king to g7, bishop to f1, rook to c8, b5, queen to d8, king to g1, knight to f4, rook to a7, rook to b8, king to h2, knight to h5, bishop to d3, queen to g5, bishop to f1, queen to g3 with check, king to g1, knight to f4, queen takes on g3, h takes on g3, knight to d1, rook to c8, knight to b2, rook to b8, knight to f4, bishop to c8, knight to c3, king to f6, knight to f4, king to g7, knight to c3, bishop to e6, knight to f4, king to h6, rook to a6, bishop to c8, rook to a7, f5, knight to c3, king to g5, e takes on f5, bishop takes on f5, rook to a6, king to h4, knight to a4, bishop to c8, rook to a7, king to g5, knight to c3, bishop to b7. So if you look at this position after 67 moves, both the players have made slight mistakes, but both of them have failed to capitalize on the advantage. So here, right continuation for Ivan is putting the rook to a4, but instead he will play bishop to e2, and this is a mistake. And now Fabiano Caruana is having a winning advantage of minus 3.3, and he continues with d5. C takes on d5, furthermore increases Fabiano's advantage to minus 6.2, and he continues with rook to c8, attacking the knight, and knight moves to e4 with check, king to h4, and it was in this position after 70 moves. Ivan Chaparino has resigned the game to Fabiano Caruana, and United States of America went on to defeat Bulgaria 3.5 to 0.5. The reason for resignation here is the king is out of squares. There is a threat of rook coming to c1 and checking. So, and the knight is attacking the bishop as well, and will come as check. So it is impossible for Ivan Chaparino to continue from here. He can try to prolong the game by playing passively. For example, he can continue like bishop to f1, rook will come, pinning it, knight to d2, trying to defend it. Then he is hanging up a pawn here, bishop takes on d5. Then he will follow with, he'll try to play a counter attack here, but Fabi can easily escape from these checks. h4 with check, king can move to f5, rook to h8, rook to d1, attacking the knight, rook to f5 to check, try to create some counter play, but it will not work, king to e6, rook to e8 to check, king to f6, rook to f8 to check, king to e7, and rook to c8, and this knight is hanging. Now he will take the collect the material, and at this point, Fabiano Caruana is up a piece. For seeing this, Ivan Shapirnavo has resigned the game.